Show with the city clerk's office. Can you hold for us?
Sure.
Good evening, everyone. The time is now 5:12, and we are broadcasting on all platforms.
Hey, Sean's calling them too.
How many people we got?
At least 7 here.
Yes.
Who's that? Yeah, because Donna just called me.
Are you gonna try calling her one more time after you get him?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Jadaisha with the city clerk's office. Can you hold for us? Thank you.
So maybe others.
I'm crying in the middle and saying thank you. All right, let's try her one more time.
We're not getting any answer or purchase.
Thank you.
Sean's calling them too.
Okay.
So if she doesn't answer, you just
Okay.
add everybody.
Well, where's Billy? Because she just contacted Billy.
Go ahead
So,
and add them.
there he
in.
is. Join.
Join, yep. Bow down. Is everybody there?
Clerk said that they couldn't get a hold of all of them to purchase.
I've never been to Army.
I'll let you go back in there and talk to him.
He's out in Monterey.
It is cold.
Pebble Beach.
Do you need to go back and talk to him or no?
So I said,
Who's there?
They're on
Invite your
here.
dad out.
Why are they on here?
I said, invite your dad out.
They're on there.
what?
Monterey. Oh, yeah. I thought you my dad. I'm like, what are they doing? Invite my dad out.
It'd be worth the house trying to play that close.
Yeah, he is.
And it always reminds me of
Oh, I do have my speakers. Oh well, he's gonna have them.
I was playing swell back in the day.
I hit select. I'm hitting conference, but
You
it's
both have to
not
do it at the same time, I think.
I know it's a waste.
on this one.
Well,
Are we all here? I think you hung up on them.
we can't start the meeting until we get this. You want me to? She should be expecting.
Look, Keisha, you want him to call her?
Yeah, let these guys do it.
Go ahead and try it.
You gotta get out of this.
You gotta start over.
Literally the only direction she gave me.
I've not seen
Hit refresh, hit refresh, hit refresh.
Who's this? Okay, hold on, Sean.
He should have said Santa. Okay.
This is 2025.
Better know.
That they're trying.
Jim? Hold on.
We all just put them on the phone. Exactly.
See all three of them, right?
So far the two.
Right. Maybe. Yeah.
She called him an hour ago
I
and
talked
asked
to her and let her know.
why we hadn't called, and he told her that she was on a different time zone.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
That's the one they gave me.
652-3531.
Okay, so I'm gonna resume, then you.
Okay.
Then hit join.
That's what I was waiting. They've got my attorney tied up. There's only the one person on there.
Hello, Jim? Sean?
Yeah, he's
You lost Sean?
coming up on the elevator.
Oh, he is? I think when you can't get her, it screws things up.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening when she doesn't answer, it's screwing up the whole thing.
I will be back in the.
Conference then at 5:15.
One moment, okay?
Just call him on his cell phone and have him put him next to a microphone?
Look, but they're.
They're both on there? Go ahead, join. What are you hitting?
You're not gonna get purchase. Will you call Greg and tell him she's not gonna call?
Dude, this is literally the only thing Joanna has here.
I don't know what they're doing back there. Tell them to break it all up. Meal parties are set up.
Madam Mayor, this is Jeremy from AV. This is all live. Would you prefer that I mute the mics until you give me a thumbs up?
Yeah, go ahead for just a second.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thank you, Ms. Hey, Jeremy, do you mind going ahead and starting the recording so we can start the meeting?
Absolutely, right now. One
Thank you,
moment.
sir.
Ready?
The time is now 5:25, and we are broadcasting on all platforms.
Thank you, Jeremy. Ready? The chair will call the August 4th, 2025 special meeting of the City Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Redpath, can you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Alderman Cox.
Here.
Alderman Gregory. Here. Alderman Williams. Here. Alderman Rockford. Here. Alderwoman Purchase. Alderwoman Natriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
Present.
Alderman Donlin. Here. Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mayor Busher.
Present.
You have a quorum, Mayor.
Mayor,
Thank you.
can I make a motion to allow Alderman Gregory and Donlin to be?
We have a motion and a second to allow Alderman Gregory and Alderman Donlin to join us by phone. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Welcome, gentlemen. The civility pledge. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. The first item on the agenda would be the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading of the consent agenda into the record of this council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that item? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
How do you vote? Jim? Aye. Alderman Gregory?
And the motion passes. The chair will now entertain a motion to place agenda item 2025-284 on final passage.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on agenda item 2025-284?
Yes, Mayor, I pushed the button on here, but it gave me
Alderman
an error.
Cox, go right ahead.
Yeah, I did, just, it's a Scrivener's error maybe. I just noticed, front page, very last whereas says $49,999. And then if you go to section 6 on the very last page, it's 49,000 even. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or if it's just a Scrivener's error, but it's $1,000 either way, so.
Corporation Counsel Mordock?
Yeah, it should be $49,999, so we can make that correction.
Thank you, Alderman.
You're welcome.
Do you need a motion to change that at all?
Yeah, let's do a motion to amend.
Do you mind making
I
a?
move
I'll
that we
move to
amend
am-
section 6 as described by Alderman Cox.
We have a motion and a second to amend section 6 from $49,000 to $49,999. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Alderman Donlin, how do you vote? Aye. Alderman Gregory, how do you vote?
And the ayes have it for the motion. So now we are going to look at voting on the amended
Make a motion,
version.
we move forward with the amended version for
Second.
final passage.
We have a motion and a second to move forward on final passage for 2025-284 on the amended version. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Alderman
nay.
Gregory, how do you vote? Aye. Alderman Donlin, how do you vote?
Oh, I need to open the voting. Yeah, sorry, y'all. We're going to open up your voting. Are we okay back there? Over at the clerk's office? All right, so your voting should be working for everyone to vote on this. Do I need- Okay, so you need to get their votes.
Mr. Clerk,
Yours isn't
mine just
working.
went away. I don't know.
Are you, we'll
So I
roll
can
call
orally
vote.
vote, that's fine.
How do you vote, Alderman Cox? Okay. And then do you want to ask the other two, clerk?
Alderman Gregory, how do you vote? Aye. Alderman Williams?
I mean, Alderman.
Alderman Williams, how do you vote? Alderman Rockford? Alderwoman Netriano? Alderman Carlson?
It's okay.
Alderwoman Conley?
Aye.
Alderman Donlin? Alderman Hanauer?
Aye.
Mayor Busher?
I don't have to vote, but
Okay.
9 yeses, no nos, the motion passes. Thank you all very much. And then Alderman Cox, I see you're back on. Good job. The next item on the agenda is item number 2025-301, an ordinance accepting and authorizing a purchase power agreement for solar energy resources with Lincoln Capital Land LLC for a 20-year term and an amount not to exceed $2.3 million annually for the Office of the Public Utilities for emergency passage. I'd like to accept a motion.
I move that we adopt. Pass.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to pass 2025-301. Any discussion from the alders? Do you want to ask the folks on the phone if they have discussion points for this one? Do you just want to see if any of the alders on the phone have discussion for this one?
Alderman Gregory, do you have any discussion on this issue? No. Alderman Donlin, do you have any discussion on this issue?
No, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, so with that being said, we'll go to citizens who have signed up in advance to speak then before we take our vote, since all the alders have expressed that they're fine.
Ready?
Yep.
Vanessa Roop? Vanessa Roop? Donald Hanrahan?
Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. Brown and his team for immediately taking action to secure approval of this proposed solar project. PPAs like this have a distinct advantage of locking in energy prices for the duration of its agreement, protecting against market volatility, aiding not just in annual budgeting, but in our forthcoming IRP planning. Wind and solar are subject to fluctuations, of course, and grid purchases on the spot market are subject to volatile pricing. This PPA helps mitigate those worries, making clean energy both a certain buy, that is, we're not buying just unknown grid energy, as well as a financially safer buy. I fully support this, and again, thanks for bringing this forward. As a retired lawyer, I hope that the common risks are assessed and tamped down as best as can be done given the time constraints. There's volumetric risk, which is the uncertainty over projected versus actual production of the clean energy generated and consumed. From the little I know of the deal here, it looks like it's dealt with by scaling the volumes to a kind of low-ball conservative capacity factor for generation. But maybe Mr. Brown could explain that if necessary for the council or for the public. More importantly, there's what they call shape risk, which arises when there's a mismatch between supply and demand, which is more common with renewable energy. So yesterday, that project, if completed, would have been baking away pretty near its nameplate capacity, but that's not going to happen on, December 21st on a cloudy day. So when a buyer wants to purchase energy, and the time of day when they can actually make it is different, and that's a risk. There's a lot of artful ways that can be worked through, of course. So I think the overall plan seems to be, just reading it, what I could, it captures and deals with that risk as kind of a baked-in fact using a conservative estimate of what its capacity factor is, but I can't tell for sure. An IRP, of course, isn't the same as an energy plan. Our IRP will hopefully suggest options for a way forward, but the plan itself is your responsibility. The IRP has to suggest all the different ways we can meet CEJA requirements in plenty of time while dealing with our legacy problems like coal ash, groundwater pollution, coal debt, and so on. But our IRP should also consider battery storage to expand the availability of solar and wind. So a project like this could, on a day like yesterday, accumulate energy in a battery and release it at night when solar can't really function by itself. It's growing exponentially across the planet, and in 2025, I'd say an immense outlay for batteries is probably pretty stupid because the tech is evolving so fast. As we sit here, solid-state batteries are already hitting the road. Mercedes has one that's going to give 620 miles of range on a single charge, and it can go from 10% to 80% in 15 minutes. Solid state is making its way to utility scale, where we already have lithium-ion batteries, flow batteries, and sodium-sulfur batteries now in use, and the sodium-sulfur batteries have just been improved. The thing is, all of this is scalable, the solar generation itself and the batteries themselves. So you can start small and build out as the tech improves and pay as you go. You don't need to wildly blow up your debt all at once. So anyway, with this agreement added to previous wind and solar PPAs, CWLP will have the ability to provide an average of, I'm guesstimating, about 90 megawatts of power generation exclusively from renewables. Please do it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Lori McFerrin.
Good evening. I don't want to repeat what Don said, so I've scribbled out a few things on my list here. So at Tuesday's Committee of the Whole last week, the presentation was given by the developers of a new solar array to be built near our airport in Springfield. This will be a 125 megawatt solar array that will be connected to the MISO grid via CWLP's transmission system. The project application, which needs to be submitted on August 6th, needs City Council approval and a signed PPA. Both of these ordinances tonight cover that. So between this 20 megawatts from this this PPA and the 25 megawatts previously contracted from Sangamon Solar, the 45 megawatts is a start to transitioning CWLP to clean energy. Our coalition, the Coalition for Springfield's Utility Future, is fully behind this, and we will do what we can to support this project. If there are any public support needed for any county approvals or anything, we will help support that. While this is a positive step forward to add these 20 megawatts of solar, planning needs to be done to add more to reach the zero emissions. Multiple options for additional clean energy and battery storage need to be included in the IRP process. In fact, the majority of the scenarios in the IRP process should meet the CEJA zero emissions dates, with additional scenarios using fossil fuels included for cost-benefit comparisons. Developing an action plan to reach the zero emissions by 2045 set by CEJA, using the output of the incoming IRP should actually be a goal for the IRP process. So kudos to CWLP for working on this project and securing 20 megawatts of solar power for us, and hopefully council will approve this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The last speaker, Bob Croteau.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The problem about going last is a lot of the stuff you were going to say has been said, but I'm Bob Croteau, a CWLP customer representing Sustainable Springfield and the Faith Coalition for the Common Good. I want to commend the CWLP staff for all their long and hard work in securing this power purchase agreement and for their low-income ratepayer focus. I want to acknowledge Emma Schaefer here, who championed this effort in her time with the Faith Coalition, knowing the importance of helping those who are underserved in our community, and would be up here tonight also adding her support. We discussed various ways to direct the benefits of community solar to the intended recipients. This would be a challenge for the Phase 1 contractor, but we in the Faith Coalition and Sustainable Springfield would like to be included in the conversation before given final decisions. In the past, we have awarded rebates for high efficiency, which went mostly to those who could afford it. I applaud those reinstating of the installation rebate program, as this is one of the most cost-effective and available programs to lower-income customers. More support for the technical assistance through the Energy Services Office is also critical in identifying measures that are most direct and effective in serving these customers. Moving away from fossil fuels is critical, and this PPA is a significant first step in moving to additional clean energy sources that are free of these emissions, and I suggest we continue to build on this project with additional solar and wind contracts. However, if I may, I also feel we need to take the next step, and that is of installing utility-scale battery storage. It will allow us to capture this clean energy for times when renewables are not immediately available. There are some concerns that I keep hearing that need to be addressed about batteries here. The first is the battery discharge duration, where continued utility industry comments that lithium-ion battery storage can only last for 4 hours. So I just say, then why not add more batteries? The second is a more legitimate concern, which is fire potential with lithium-ion. This references an early effort in California where multiple units were contained in a warehouse-style facility, and when one unit caught fire, it spread to all the others. Since then, the standard is to have them in individual shipping container-sized units, widely separated, so only one will be affected. At that same facility, however, they continued to build them, and in 2023, they had expanded to 7 gigawatts of battery storage, and in just 1 year later, they doubled that to 14 gigawatts. So for reference, 1 gigawatt is equivalent to a nuclear power plant. Lithium is not the only choice, however, as rapid battery development and production is occurring right now using alternate materials like sodium-ion and iron-air batteries that are plentiful and not environmental damaging to extract. I used to assume, as many do now, that nuclear will fill the gap as we transition from fossil fuels. However, it is not the solution here. Even though it is being pursued hard by a well-moneyed elite who don't want to lose their grip on this cash cow. New nuclear, including the newly touted small modular and advanced reactors, will not save us from global warming in time. They take too long to come online and they are too expensive. Last year, the only model approved lost its investors to excess costs even before it began. They are dangerous, and there is still no national long-term nuclear waste storage facility. And finally, the mining of uranium ore in indigenous lands is also a social justice issue. But most importantly, nuclear reactors will be less and less reliable under global warming, as they have to be shut down under heat waves when they are needed the most, because the cooling water gets too hot to keep them cooled down. This has actually been happening in France with more frequent heat waves that they are experiencing in the last few years. Nuclear takes 15 years to come online, while renewables take less than 2. Nuclear is 10 times more expensive than renewables, and we'll have to pay for that. Fossil fuels, including natural gas and nuclear, are not the solutions, and they threaten to usurp the resources needed for building a true and safe renewable energy future. Renewables with battery storage is the ultimate solution to our climate crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Okay, so that is everyone who signed up in advance to speak, and I'll give the council members just one last option. Is any discussion on 2025-301 from the council? We had a motion and a second for approval. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I just.
Alderman Williams.
Some clarity, Mr. Dunn, when you were speaking, you know, we talked about the IRP plan and, you know, seizure requirements. I understand that well, but this second plan that you spoke of, can you give me some, or one of you guys, yeah? Because I just want to know the difference.
I would, you know, like one of the, like an example that the council did was a resolution to retire 31, 32, and 33. So that was based off recommendations born out of the IRP. So that, you could say that that's an action plan.
Okay.
So, you know.
Good example. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so that, and then that would be the same thing for any kind of energy sources that the IRP, you know, actually presents. You formulate an action plan, you know, from that based upon the recommendations out of that.
Action plan.
Alderwoman Notriano, DB, you might want to stay where you were. Alderwoman Notriano, is this for Doug?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Chair, Mayor. Yeah, so the 2.3 that we see here, that's just to purchase the energy. It's not the cost baked into our maintaining transmission lines and things like that, or basically what is the cost of this in addition to?
So there's basically the, you know, a quick analysis was that there's no really upgrades that have to be done for that. A part of being part of MISO, we're required to be open access. There's an open access tariff that is part of that, basically we can't stop an entity from applying for MISO to do this kind of connection. And we're gonna see it at other substations that we have, but we just had one with the wind contract that we had been working on for a couple of years, that they were gonna bring wind and they were in the queue, and that's kind of, I think they're changing their minds, but you know, so we have to allow those things in. But with this one, the 2.3 is strictly to buy the energy portion out of that for the 20 megawatts.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's a piece basically where the capacity is a very, very low part of that as well.
Yeah, I know I talked about solar panels in other areas, like closer to Ward 6, and I know that would be, we would have to invest in upgrading things in that area. So you're saying by the airport, things are in better shape, the transmission lines and things?
Well, they're accessing a substation, so they're accessing 138 kV substation, and it's a matter of land. You know, I think they're talking about like 1,200 acres.
Okay.
So it's a massive amount of land that you have to develop these bigger wind farms. I think the one like that's south of Chatham that we did with it's like 750 acres, something like that. So they're big ones.
Okay. And do we have plans for battery storage or?
We've actually looked at that with some other companies, and we had a discussion with this one too as well. But the prices that they gave us, I would say were probably 4 times the amount the capacity auctions, not this year, but last year. So they're pretty steep prices still for batteries. But, you know, the technology keeps changing, so we're gonna keep looking. And then with the IRP, of course, we'll have them look at all the different battery technologies as well, but
Okay.
when we get to that.
And what's the status of our IRP?
Well, so that is, what we understand is that there's a likelihood that they might bring the legislation up in the veto session. So that would kind of set the framework for that. And there's a possibility out of that, once it happens, then we would be able to get, at least a pretty good portion of the IRP funded from the state.
Okay.
Which would be good. So that would help save some customers money. Just, I think last week, just as I mentioned, was that, you know, what the one big beautiful bill, tax incentives are going away. So solar and wind are gonna be, more problematic going forward for a while until something changes again. So I think you're gonna see a slowdown on that in the country for that, because of that, unfortunately.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other discussion from the alders? You want to ask them?
Alderman Donlin, you got any comments?
I do not, Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Gregory, do you have any comments?
I do not.
Okay, seeing none, the voting will now be open. All those in favor of the motion, please vote yes. All those opposed, please vote no.
Alderman Gregory, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Donlin, how do you vote?
Aye.
So the motion passes with 10 voting yes, none voting no. That is going to conclude the agenda of our meeting. And before we adjourn, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow is National Night Out. So we will not be here tomorrow night. We'll be here Wednesday night so that we can all go celebrate National Night Out. With that being said, I will take a motion for
So moved.
adjournment.
Got Carlson.
Oh, sorry, Alderman Carlson, you had
Do we have
chimed
new-
in.
do we
My
have new business
apologies.
or not? Do we have new business or not?
Not during a special
I see it,
meeting. We
okay.
only discuss what's on the agenda.
Just reminding everyone we'll be here Wednesday. All right. So all those in favor of the motion, please say aye to adjourn.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. You want to ask them on the phone?
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you, Alderman Gregory and Alderman Donlin.